Surprise, motherfucker! What's up? This is your friendly neighborhood Avenger Satanus in his own friendly neighborhood. Whee! Okay, so I'm probably going to ramble a little bit on a few different subjects in this video. I was thinking about How I Met Your Mother, the series, because I rewatched it about a year ago. Was it a year ago? Maybe 2 years ago. 18 months ago? Something like that. And we talked about this at VentureCon, like a few different important TV shows, TV series. That was one of them that came up because I think it's just, I don't know, it's one of my favorites. I think it's awesome on several different levels, and the humor being one of them. But it's also just a great show, particularly about the characters. I mean, you can't have a great show like How I Met Your Mother without great characters. And I mean, what would How I Met Your Mother be without Ted, for instance, or Barney, or the other characters? And what would Ted, for instance, be without his penchant for driving gloves or architecture or being a hopeless romantic, calligraphy, things like that? What would Ted be without those things? And I just think that the primary ingredient that's missing from the role-playing games that I run and then I see other people run is the character concept bleeding through the game. It's fun, and I know a lot of players love this, to come up with a great character concept in the beginning. I'm not going to say backstory because that's kind of a loaded term. I'm not talking about the guy that writes like 5-6 pages of what he was doing before he got to first level. I'm talking about you have like a cool, maybe one paragraph between like 3 and 5 sentences of like what your character is about, and then you tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't seen a ton of games, and I've been the one-shot king for 3-4 years, so maybe I'm wrong. But it seems like you have this great character concept, and then maybe the first session you see like maybe 1 or 2 little moments in between encounters, and then that's it. And then it just kind of like fades into the background, and you become like the human fighter, and then that's your character. You have a name, and maybe you have like, it seems like you have a one-word descriptor, like maybe grumpy or aggressive or fun-loving or something like that, and then that's it. Then the characterization just dies. And if we're going to create collectively these stories, these awesome pulp sword and sorcery stories in our imaginations, then without great characters, you don't have a great story. And I'm not talking about a pre-written narrative like the GM is writing a novel or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the story that we create during play as the game happens, that story. And without great characters, you don't have a great story, unfortunately. And that's kind of what I'm doing with Encounter Critical 3. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing with Encounter Critical 3. Is I'm trying to incentivize role-playing and characterization, bringing out the the backgrounds and the personality quirks and, all the things that have to do with that character. And I want players to utilize all that stuff, especially if they came up with something awesome at the very beginning, before you started playing the game, during character creation. If they came up with something awesome, I want to utilize that throughout the session, throughout the campaign. I don't want that to stop halfway through the first session, and now it's just like, okay, well, you're the human fighter, and you're the elf thief, and you're the woman paladin with a heart of gold, and then that's you, and then the rest of the time, you just go through my encounters because I'm the game master, and that's what I'm trying to get away from. If going back to How I Met Your Mother, the character of Barney, okay, what Neil Patrick Harris did with that character, Barney, was like astounding. It was like epic, next level playing. He was able to shift the entire story arc of that show, of How I Met Your Mother, just with looks and smiles and little nods and winks and active listening and laughing at Robin's jokes. Spoiler alert for people that haven't seen it or are about to watch it. But Barney gets the girl in the end. Not the end, but the end of the show. He gets Robin because he influenced the story in the show just sitting at the bar, sitting out at the table, participating, listening, and flirting with Robin. And it changed the entire end of the show because the writers just decided, based on Neil Patrick Harris and his performance of Barney, that it made total sense for him and Robin to, be a couple and try to make it work and get married. And that's part of the power of being a great player, having a great character concept, and utilizing that throughout the campaign. You'd be surprised. You can move mountains with just the tiniest bit of real effort, consistently drawn out, like through weeks or months or whatever your campaign is. And that's the power of role-playing and of trying to be your character, not just when it's your turn to attack the monster, but all the time, in between encounters, during encounters, little moments here and there when when there's an opportunity. I recommend you take that opportunity. And I'm hoping that the incentive structure I've given to Encounter Critical 3 will be a huge step forward in that. That's my design philosophy for the game. And I think it's going to produce a better game and better stories. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. I'll be finishing it probably the end of next month, but I just want to make sure I have all my I's dotted, T's crossed. The artwork's come in, the layout's finished, so I'm waiting for all that stuff after I'm done writing it. The writing is pretty much 95% done, and I'll be showcasing Encounter Critical 3 at GameholeCon this weekend, starting tomorrow, actually. I think the convention starts today, but I'm not going to be there until tomorrow. And should be pretty fantastic. I'm writing the introductory adventure now, And that also I'm debuting at GameholeCon. I wanted to write something really cool, really special. So for the last couple of days, I've been focusing all my energy on the intro adventure. It's turning out really, really cool so far. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Beneath Kradumek, and I think people are going to really appreciate it. I think they're going to love it. I don't know. We'll see. But showcasing new stuff and writing new stuff is half the fun for me. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, in the meantime, I did release Obsidian Escalation, which is just about like a different way of doing crits in your game, your OSR game, your D&D game, your whatever. So that's up on DriveThruRPG for $3. Take a look at that. I think it's worth the price of admission. I think you'll probably like it if you like weird, cool stuff. Like Crimson Escalation, it focuses on short, brutal, realistic combat. Like combat is in, war, not combat as a sport. And yeah, it's similar to Crimson Escalation, but Obsidian Escalation is a little bit different, and it's got more of a fiction-first approach. I don't know. Yeah, give it a try if you don't mind spending the $3, and let me know what you think about that. Okay, this video is already way too long, so maybe I'll see you at GameholeCon. If not, I will have blog posts up probably throughout the weekend, letting people know about my games, about what the sites I've seen, and cool people I will hopefully talk to. I will have some books on hand, so if you're going to be there and you want to buy Chult, or Chult Fuchsia Malaise, or Chult Chartreuse Shadows, come see me. I don't have a booth or anything, but I will be there running games, and I will have books on hand. Okay. Avenger out.